Welcome back to the Business Book Club, where we explore the world's most powerful business books and turn their ideas into lessons you can actually use. Today, we're looking at Leaders Eat Last by Simon Sinek, a book that redefines leadership, trust, and what it means to create a culture where people truly thrive. The title comes from a tradition in the US Marine Corps. The most senior leaders eat last. It's not about status, it's about service. True leaders put their people before themselves. They protect, support, and create the conditions where others can succeed. And when they do, the entire organization becomes stronger. Sinek argues that the best teams and companies operate within what he calls a circle of safety. It's an environment where people feel safe to take risks, make mistakes, and express themselves without fear of blame or punishment. When leaders extend that circle, trust grows, collaboration deepens, and innovation flourishes. But when leaders shrink that circle, through fear, control, or ego, people turn on each other instead of working together. He explains that this principle isn't just philosophical, it's biological. Our brains release different chemicals depending on how we lead and how we're led. Endorphins and dopamine drive achievement and reward, helping us push through and celebrate wins. But serotonin and oxytocin, the so-called leadership chemicals, are what create trust, loyalty, and belonging. When leaders care for their teams, these chemicals flow freely, building connection and safety. Sinek warns, though, that modern workplaces often prioritize short-term results over long-term trust. Endless targets, constant restructuring, and fear-based management create stress hormones like cortisol, the opposite of oxytocin. When that happens, teams become protective, political, and disengaged. They focus on surviving, not succeeding. The message is simple but profound. Leadership isn't about being in charge. It's about taking care of those in your charge. The best leaders measure their success not by profits alone, but by how safe, motivated, and fulfilled their people feel. He uses examples from business, the military, and everyday life, from Barry Wehmiller, a company that treats employees like family, to Marines who literally risk their lives for one another. The common thread is clear. When leaders sacrifice for their people repay that trust with loyalty, creativity, and commitment. Sinek also touches on something many of us recognize: the loneliness of leadership. Great leaders don't always get the easiest path. Putting others first requires patience, empathy, and courage, especially when pressure comes from above. But he reminds us that trust and loyalty compound over time. When people know you've got their back, they'll go further for you than any incentive could ever buy. So what are the key lessons we can take from Leaders Eat Last? 1. Create a circle of safety. Make your team feel protected, not from outside competition, but from internal fear. When people feel safe, they perform at their best. 2. Put people before numbers. Profit is the result of trust, not the cause. When you prioritize people, performance follows naturally. 3. Lead with empathy. Leadership is about listening, supporting, and understanding what your team needs to succeed, even when it's uncomfortable. 4. Serve first. The best leaders don't demand loyalty. They earn it through service and selflessness. 5. Build long-term trust. Quick wins can drive short-term results, but sustained success depends on consistent care and connection. Leaders Eat Last is a call to return leadership to its roots, to replace fear with trust and authority with empathy. It reminds us that great cultures aren't built through slogans or incentives, but through leaders who care deeply enough to eat last. That's a wrap on this week's episode. Please like, subscribe, and share your own experiences in the comments.